Good evening. Welcome to 100% LCFC. Hopefully, we're live on Facebook, live on Twitter, live on Periscope, live on YouTube. My name's Phil. This, like I say, is 100% LCFC. Now, loads and loads of stuff for us to talk about. Obviously, good win. I'm not going to say a great win. I'm going to say a really good win, a solid win for Leicester at the weekend where we saw us beat Wolves 2-0. Get your comments in. If you put your comments in, I can show them on screen. If I've shared out the link several times in lots of groups. Terry's saying he's present. Good evening, Terry. What's up, Terry? You're in at the start tonight. Normally come in halfway through and normally having broadband problems. Jason, Claire, how are you? Thanks for watching. Good to have you in there. Sam Perkins is watching from Mallorca. Sam, are you anywhere near Jamie and the Fox's Arms in Alcudia? If you are, make sure you pop in and see Jamie. Great show yesterday, by the way, from Jamie. Ken White is watching. Hi, Ken. How are you? If you can like and share the video, I always appreciate that. It'd be brilliant if you can give us a big like or a whatever, a heart on Facebook. If you can retweet it on Twitter, that would be brilliant. Thanks, Reese is watching. Kajan is saying Magic Mendy. Yeah, Magic Mendy. That's Jamie started that yesterday. So Magic Mendy, that's a good one. Casey Robertson saying hi. And Casey is saying, looking forward to going to Southampton on Saturday. We will definitely get on to Southampton. Terry's making me laugh because he's saying he's took out a loan for the electric bill. Like I say, if you can like and share the video, that'd be brilliant. Somebody already has done that, is Mr. Regular, which is Tom. And I'm just reading that Imtiaz says, are we watching the under-23s? Benkovic is on. Well, that's interesting. How's he getting on, Imtiaz? Let us know. Paul says, hello. Tom, how are you?
Very good, mate. How are you? You all right?
I'm really good. I'm really pleased that we actually picked up that win on Saturday. It was a good win, wasn't it, Tom?
Yeah, the win was more important than the performance, I think, considering the defeats towards the back end of last season. To get that first win off the mark in the first home game, and it probably wasn't up the performance we saw the week before at Man U, but there was some good spells in the game where we moved the ball well, and it's a win, and we'll take that, I think, for the first home game.
Yeah, I think that the aim of any Premier League season is to get as many points as quickly as you can. If we were to pick up 5 or 6, 7 wins in the first 15 odd games, you start to see security already in the season. And I think the Wolves game, spoken to a few Wolves fans after the match and on Twitter, and to be fair, they were a bit gutted. And I said to them, in all honesty, I felt they deserved something from that.
Yeah, I think if you've been fair on the game, the first 20 minutes we got battered. The ball's over the top. Ricardo, Johnny Evans were getting caught out left, right, and centre. Johnny dived in too many times in the box, trying to probably overplay it from the back a couple of times, caught us out. Then you look at it, they hit the crossbar, they hit the post, what deflects in off Schmeichels. Schmeichels then has to make another good couple of saves. Cleared off the line from Chilwell. So the first 20 minutes, we didn't really get going. I think after the game, Pure was quite honest, his assessment of the game. What was quite nice seeing, he said, we were slow. We didn't get going, and it's something we'll work on. We can't do that in the Premier League. You have to go from the start. We grown into the game. I think we were lucky with the first goal. It's a great ball in by Albright, and it was good to see him back in the team. And I think his work ethic rolled up, works into everyone else. Great ball in, flick on by the centre half onto Doherty's head, and it flies into the net. You get lucky. Well, not really lucky. I think the build-up play for the second goal, it's great work again by Ndidi to win the ball in his own half, to then play Ricardo, who bombs forward and takes a foul for his teammate, who then gets the ball to Maddison, who slots it into the bottom corner with the help of deflection. And I think as soon as that goal went in, you saw Wolves were deflated by it. And half-time, I don't think the Wolves player probably felt they could come out and do another job like they did the week before against Everton and get something out of the game.
Yeah, Imtiaz, we want everybody to comment their views as ever. If you want, all views are welcome. Nobody's right, nobody's wrong. Imtiaz here says we didn't play well against Wolves at all. We were just defended well and got lucky with the own goal and Maddison deflected goal. Imtiaz, that's your view. That's absolutely fine. I actually thought, I know what you're saying when you're saying we didn't play well, but we defended well. To be fair, Tom, I actually think the first 20 minutes, the defence looked bloody awful. Johnny Evans, Ricardo are just it was a bit of a mess at the back there for 20 minutes or so, wasn't it? It was right in
Oh,
front of where you're sitting, isn't it?
yeah, up in SK1 now for this season. And yeah, I think the first 20 minutes we did look really shaky at the back. So the balls over that to the top, they were looking for Ricardo every single time because I think they felt they could get at Leicester from that position because how much he will attack, they could get in behind him and Johnny Evans. Look, the fans have been calling out for Wes Morgan to be dropped for how many months now?
Yeah.
They drop him, they bring in Johnny Evans, and now he has a bad game, and it's, oh, we need to drop him. Well, hang on, let's give him a chance. He's not had a full pre-season. He missed a couple of the games towards the back end through injury. He's been chucked in against. I don't think a bad team in Wolves. They've got some very
No.
good players. You know, Neves looked quality for a 21-year-old in midfield. He was running the show at points for the game. So to be honest, I think, the first 20 minutes we looked shaky, but it was a new partnership between Johnny Evans and Maguire as well. They're going to take time to gel into that partnership. And you could see the back end of it after Vardy had gone off that we actually defended better as a team. I think as a unit, we defended better. I think we were too open the first 20 minutes. And like I say, it wasn't good, but the actual performance wasn't that bad. There were spells in the game where you could see what he's trying to do, the little 1-2 passes around the corner, Ricardo bombing forward, Chilwell bombing forward, Gray, Maddison causing mayhem around the box by changing positions. Same with the fullback, same with Albrighton getting involved. And we look quite threatening at times going forward. I think it'll take a few games to get this link play together. But like I said, after the Man U game, there was positive sign to see what we're trying to do to get goals. And they will come. It's just going to take time, I think.
Yeah, no, I agree. Give Evans a bit of a chance. Obviously, we've got Benkovic, maybe in the under-23s on the hiding in the wing, shall I say, and Sudoku, whatever his name is, could come good for us. Lots of people sort of saying give Evans a bit of time, but he was a bit weak. Got to give a shout out to Wiggo. Thanks for watching, Wiggo, as ever, from McDonald's or wherever you are. What I want to say, though, people like Reese is saying, is Mendy the new Kante? Phil Creed is saying Mendy was a real positive. And who else was it? I'm just flicking through all the things here. Andrew Turlington says Magic Mendy. I think Jamie's going to take credit for starting hashtag Magic Mendy. Tom, we were quite shocked. We were in the Blues bar beforehand, and when it was announced, the team lineup, we were both a little bit surprised. Although I did see Mendy play at Notts County in pre-season live, and he looked pretty decent. What are your thoughts on Magic Mendy?
Magic Mendy. I mean, like I said, we were a bit taken back, but he was chucked into a game at home. I thought he might have been on the bench this week, seeing that he was fit for this game. But Puel knows him. Puel's worked with him before, and I think Puel probably be able to get the best out of him. I think we saw at the weekend, and Diddy and him actually worked really well. There was points in the game where Diddy was the deeper one, and Mendy was breaking up the play and bombing forward. There was some lovely little 1-2s around the block with Maddison to try and get Pereira in down that right-hand side on 2, 3, 4 occasions they were trying to do it. So Mendy, he's chucked his name into the hat now for that midfielder role. And Silva, Ibora are going to have to work to get back into it for me. And fair play to Mendy. He came into the club, but then it was the new Kante. In theory, we were going for Mendy before we signed Kante. And he's now got his chance to shine at 18 months after his injury and out on loan. Let's see what he can do and give him a chance. But from what we saw at the weekend, there was positive sign that he could pass the ball. He's not scared of getting stuck into a tackle, but it's not just for that. It was the actual overall round play that he got the ball and he was willing to drive forward and look for 1-2s around the box to try and create things. And I'll just break the play up and pass a 5-yard pass ball to the side and let everyone else get involved.
Yeah, I mean, we did a live video. I had a chat with Anthony Howard, who's struggling to get on. He says, if anybody does want to come on tonight, just click on the video link, come in. I had a chat with Anthony and Lee Chappie on Saturday, straight after the match, and we all picked different players as man of the match. I actually went for Mendy. Chappie went for Pereira, and Anthony went for Demarai Gray. I didn't see the Demarai Gray one, I've got to be honest. I thought he was in and out of the game a bit. But Pereira, we put polls out there over the weekend to see who the fans picked on, and it was very much a split decision on the voting between Ricardo Pereira and Mendy. Who did you think edged it? Not necessarily out of those two. Who was your man of the match?
I'm my man of the match. I went for Mendy, and that was only just out of him and Pereira. It was more for the actual overall whole game performance for Mendy from the start to finish was top draw. I just felt Pereira, the first 20 minutes, got caught out too many times on that right-hand side and suddenly realised, probably unlike he could in the Portugal League, he's got to defend first before going forward. And I think he realised that. And after the game, he said, I've got to, work on defending first and then getting involved. Where I think probably in the Portuguese leagues, he was used to bombing forward more, creating a lot more chances, where he's going to have to work to understand the Premier League. If you get caught out of position, it can cost you goals very quickly. That's why I gave it to Mendy. I just felt from start to finish, his all-round play was second to none, considering it was his first, game in the Premier League for 18 months.
I'm going to read out, Tom, just bear with me while I read out they've got so many comments, which is brilliant. Mitchell says, it will take time, but he's slow. I think you're referring to Johnny Evans here. Quality strikers will find it easy against him. He dives in and it gets by him, too predictable. That did happen against Johnny Evans on Saturday. Sam Ferreira, not sure about Evans, says Sam. Not brilliant at Man United, at poor at West Brom, sorry. I actually thought he was pretty good at West Brom. Imtiaz is saying Mendy is a breath of fresh air. Adam Beniston says ended his 6-year contract is the biggest signing of the season. That certainly is, Tom. Ended he? 6 years? He's a young lad, 21, I think.
Yeah, 6 years is great, but as I look at it nowadays, what does a contract mean?
Well, it signs him in for a big deal if he carries on, isn't it? Big money. Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I don't think we're at a point now we're proving that last few years we're not a selling club if we can help it. But it only means in theory that if someone really wants to come and buy him, they've got to chuck some big cash at him. But no, it's good to see he's committed. I think he came out and said he's happy at the moment. At 21, he's not in a rush to go and join a top 4 club because he wants to play, and I think he'll benefit from playing week in, week out for us. He'll probably look at someone like Drinkwater and think, do I really want to go and chuck my career away by not playing games? Yeah. If you look at Drinkwater, he went to Chelsea thinking he was going to probably play more games than he has. He hasn't. And hopefully he'll learn that for staying with us, he'll get the game time.
Josh is saying we should play 3 at the back next game. So when Ricardo bombs forward, we have more defensive cover on the right. And we did switch to 3 at the back. Although, again, when that happened in the second half, I can tell you by watching the defenders, they really didn't seem to know what was going on at the back. They were all shouting at each other. Pereira can't defend, says Lee Clark. But... Oh no, he says Pereira can't defend, Reece, ? But he reads the game brilliantly. So Lee Clark is definitely sticky up for Pereira there. Andrew Turlington saying, and we've got a few comments coming on this, and Tom, this is going to be the next question about Vardy sending off. Andrew Turlington says, would anyone worried about the lack of firepower up front? We're missing a plan B striker. We will talk about that, Andrew, because I was looking at the squad today. We literally have got in the squad on the website, they've got 4 strikers down for Leicester. One of those is Okazaki, who has not featured whatsoever. And the other one they're classing as a striker this season is Diabate. And so the other 2 is obviously Vardy and Nacho. So Vardy is out, and I've got loads of comments on here about the Jamie Vardy sending off was a bad point of the game. And Spencer is saying, what's people's opinion on Jamie being sent off? Now, Tom, I genuinely don't know your opinion on it because we didn't speak after the match. I'm going to check. You give us your opinion on the sending off. Then I'll give you mine. And while you're talking, Tom, I'm going to check the Facebook poll we put on about 7 o'clock to see what the fans thought. Okay, was it a sending off, Tom?
Yeah, it's a sending off. There's no comeback on it. Sadly, we're not playing in the 70s, 80s, or 90s where Vinnie Jones would get away with that. You can't do it anymore. The game's moved on so much, and people say, "Oh, it's ruining the game. It's a contact sport." It's completely great. It's a contact sport, and sometimes referees do blow up too easily. But when a player goes through the ball and his studs then go into someone's leg, it's a red card. It doesn't matter about he won the ball first. We all could win the ball first, but there's no need for his leg to then go up to that height and take it out. As I said after the game when I spoke on the radio, it's the second time he's done this now. He did it Stoke away when he got hot-headed against Stoke. He's done it against Wolves when he got hot-headed because he lost the ball. He was frustrated. And I think he was frustrated because he didn't really have that many opportunities in the game. But I don't get how anyone could defend it. I don't get anyone size a yellow card. It's a straight red. The referee got it spot on. As soon as he did it, I was like, he's off. I said it in the game. I'll say it now. He was off. And I couldn't understand why Peel said we're not going to appeal it, because if we appeal it, it could be a red card. So it could be a 4-game ban instead of the 3-game ban. So I'm just watching Palace, Liverpool's just been given a penalty.
Well, that's great that we've got your undivided attention there, Tom. Who's going to take it? Is it for my fantasy football team? As you say, it's a Liverpool
That's what I was
penalty.
looking at for the fantasy football team. Oh, it's James Milner.
Oh, God, no. Give it to Salah. Give it to Salah. Let him take everything. I've got him. Lots of people have entered the fantasy football team, and it's certainly given us a lot of talk about. For me, Tom, it was definitely a red card. I mean, I was in the family stand, which is 75, 80 yards away from where it was, and it looked clearly a red card. And when I've seen it back on Match of the Day, even in super slow motion, it's still a red card. 56% on our poll say it was red. So clearly 44% there think it was a yellow. But Tom, my big question to you about it is, Vardy didn't get much to nibble on, did he, throughout the whole game? I think that wasn't frustration at his lack of control. I don't think that was frustration that somebody had done something to him. I think he was just flipping annoyed at the game.
Yeah,
It
no, I
doesn't
agree with
seem
you.
to suit his style.
It was a frustrating game for him. I think he only had 2 or 3 balls into his feet where he could turn and get a shot away, and he didn't really get into that position that much. I think he got a couple of chances. He got to go down the line, and he got in and pulled the ball back for Maddison in the second half. Was one off, but I think it was a frustrating for game for him because it's not what he's used to doing, and I think it'll take time for him to adapt his game to be able to play the way we're playing now. I think he can do it, and I think he will get involved. I think Maddison will link up better with him as the next few games go on once he comes back from his suspension. But I generally feel it was frustration that he hadn't really got many chances, and then he'd gone on a bit of a run, did a weird turn in that area where in theory I just felt he should have just cut inside and gone for it. Lost the ball, and then frustration again. He did it at Stoke away, he lost the ball, and he went through someone, and he's done it against Wolves on Saturday, and it's something hopefully he'll learn from, but he can't do that, and he knows it now because referees are going to be keeping an eye on him for this anger against over. What's the word I'm looking for? Over enthusiastic tackling, I'd say. He knew what he was doing. I don't care when it is. He knew where he was going in. He was going in to make a hard challenge, and he's just overdone it. Simple as that for me.
I think, to be fair, most fans, I've been putting them up on screen, Tom, as we've been chatting. I would say generally that 56% is about right, because there is certainly a 40-odd% of fans' comments here saying that they think it wasn't red. I mean, Jason is saying it was a red all day long. People who say it wasn't don't know the rules of the game. I think he means today. Aggie is saying red card all day long. Joanna saying she's just realised her mum is watching, Doreen. So a big shout out. Can you say hi to Doreen, Tom?
Hi, Doreen.
And Joanna, of course, who watches it all the time. Peter Wallace says not to appeal. It was red. Does the Fleetwood game count in the 3 matches he's banned for? I don't know that one. It's a good question, though, Scott.
Sure. I have a feeling I don't think it will count. I think it will count in the league only.
Imtiaz is saying yes, Fleetwood does count, so we'll take Imtiaz's word for that. Keith is saying yes, it's only yellows that don't carry into the cup. Plenty more tackles got away with at other games. I think generally on the Vardy scenario, Tom, it's people seem to think it probably was a red. But I'm gonna, do you know what? I'm sick of typing this, but I'm putting it in again. Plan B.
Can I put it a question to you though, Phil?
Yep.
If that was a Wall player that had done that to a Leicester player, you'd be calling for a red card every day of the week. So
I think it was red. Yes. Yeah, we would be.
I'm just saying that to the fans who think it's a yellow card. So if a Wolves player did say, I don't know, Naves or who he was, the centre midfielder, done that to Maddison, you'd be crying out for a red card. So I just don't see how anyone can think it's not a red card. In the day and age that we're in now, we all know that if you go in and you're stood to showing, you're going to go off the pitch. Especially, no offence to Mike Dean, who couldn't wait to get his cards out of the weekend. I was quite funny that he gave more yellow cards for time waste and then actual poor play or pulling shirts and everything.
Well, he seemed to give Maguire one for time wasting when on our clocks we were in the 6th minute of injury time. We're 2-0 down. I mean, he booked Maguire, which will affect Maguire at some point because he's going to pick up bookings the way he plays. And to get one then, it was unnecessary. And I don't even think he was time wasting at the end there. I think he was just waiting for take the free kick. Anyway, I put on screen, Tom, Plan B, because it frustrates me. that, like I say, we've got 4 strikers, two of which are Vardy and Inacio, who are very, very similar players. The other 2 being Diabate, who to me is more like Gray or Gazelle, whatever, these sort of winger players, not a striker. And Okazaki is not fit yet and aging. It's Nacho on Saturday against Southampton, and who's on the bench to replace him?
Oh, well, that's where you
Diabate.
hope. Well, the Abate, you hope Okazaki will be fit for the weekend. I know he's been injured for the last 2 games, so let's see if he's fit for the weekend. I suppose if he is fit, he'll come onto the bench. Well, it's not a bad thing. I think we do some games. I think at the weekend you probably crying out at that 2-0 where you probably wanted Okazaki to come on and run around like headless chicken and close everyone down. What he does really well. But no, I agree. I think we should have had a plan B. I don't think we signed the right players. I said at the beginning of the season, I think we should have gone for Rondon, who's now gone to Newcastle. I think it would have been a great signing for Leicester to go on. Even if you'd said we'll give you 16, 20 million, what's that in this day and age in a football club? It's 20 million for a striker who scored 9 goals last season in the Premier League, but his overall play wasn't that bad for the Baggies last year. I think, shouldn't have let both players go. So one should have kept out Slimani or Leonardo, and probably kept Slimani because I think Leo wants to leave now. I think he'd had enough that he wasn't going to play. Actually, I think Slimani wouldn't mind sitting on the bench. I don't think he's one of those players who's too fussed as long as he's getting some money in his bank each week.
Yeah, I mean, we don't seem to have. It seems strange that we let the 2 big guys go on the last gasps of transfer deadline day. Again, I'm trying not to be negative because it was a good performance and we're all hoping things to go forward. It just frustrates me that there is no plan B, and yet we spent 12 million on a keeper who's going to be second choice, Danny Ward, and we've got Jakupovic and we had Hamer. So, how many games is this Danny Ward going to play? We've signed 2 extra centre backs as well as having lots of centre backs, and yet we only have in our squad 4 strikers.
Can I ask? There's a question just popped up. I don't know if it's from Ellis. Plan B will be Inacho. He's young and only improving. Why sign Rondon when you have Slimani? And the day for me, why sign Rondon? Because he's proven in the Premier League, and I just feel that we've seen what we're going to get from Slimani. One, he's got a really bad attitude, throws his hands around all the time. I think we've seen that in too many games.
Who's that? Sorry, Tom.
Rondon about why why sign Rondon? And for me, it was the difference between Rondon and Slimani is attitude. He throws his hands up in the air when he doesn't get what he wants. I think we've seen the bad side of it at Newcastle when he ended up getting a 3-game ban for punching or kicking someone. He's just not good enough for the Premier League at the end of the day. I just look at Rondon. I think for 20-odd million, you've got a player who knows the league, who can score goals. He's scored goals against us enough times. He's not a bad little, for a big man. He's got good ability, and I just think someone like that. There's your plan B, but someone who knows this league. And I think for me, Slimani, I tried to give him the benefit of the doubt, and that for a year and a half. I felt there was something in him, but at the back end of the season, his attitude just seemed to, suck, and he didn't seem bothered about what he was doing. So I would have let him go like he has, and I would have brought another big striker in, because even if he comes back at the end of next season, it still gives you an option having 2 big strikers back at the football club, because eventually Slimani will leave.
Andrew's probably got it right here. I've just popped it on screen. He says Puel only has 1 game plan, which is fair enough. But I think Andrew is right. I think he's going to play a system and then just change players to go in that system. What do you think, Tom?
Yeah.
There is no plan B. He doesn't.
No, there isn't a plan B. He's very much one-dimensional. Football is about passing very quickly, getting the ball into Maddison, who turns, who then looks for the little 1-2s from Vardy, Gray, Albrighton, looking then to try and get in behind with Pereira or Gray again. It's very much quick passing, but play around the box. I think the first half we were very slow with the play. A few was around, we're talking to the crowd and saying how slow the passing was. In the game we're trying to play, the passing has got to be a lot crisper and sharper. And I think the second half there was phases where you saw what we were trying to do, especially around the box with Gray and Pereira tried a little 1-2s, and Vardy then ran into the box. It's going to come. I mean, people say, well, there's no point signing a big man. Well, there is when you're losing 1-0 and you need a goal, and the tiki-taka football isn't working. And 2 minutes, 5-10 minutes from the end, you've got to try the hoof it in the box. And let's put it this way, the big clubs do it. Look at Man U, they've got Flamini. They did it exactly the same yesterday. The last 10 minutes, they were just lumping balls into the box trying to get a goal. So it's always, I think you've got to have a big striker there just in case you've got to go somewhere different. Even if Peel doesn't want to, the players can still do something. If you've got someone around, they bring on.
I'm going to put some. I've been putting a few comments on here, some interesting ones. We don't play big striker football anymore, so why have a big striker? Is what Adam's saying, and I think that is the point. I don't think, or even though we have Brighton, who's probably one of the best crossers of putting the ball exactly where we want it. Reese is saying, I said last season sign Callum Wilson, and Tom had a go at me. Now Wilson is on fire and is a big target man, and can also run around 5 West Ham players and stick it in the net. There's your plan B. Well, we didn't buy him, Reese, so that's no good. I'm going to slightly change the subject here. Loads and loads of comments. Please get them in. I'm sorry you can't get every single one read out with so many. I'm going to put on the screen Maddison. I don't know if I've spelt it wrong, I think there. Has it got 2 Ds, Tom? Bad spelling by Phil. I'm going to respell it because I'll get told off. Maddison. Do you know what? He didn't even come into the reckoning for man of the match, but he is, without shout, I said it in pre-season, for me, he is going to be our best player this season. I just love everything he does on the pitch, even to the extent, Tom, that at the end, even though it's the first home game, he's still one of the few players who comes right up to the fans to give them a clap and say thanks. And that means a lot to me, things like that. But the way he plays, a lot of them trudged off as normal without even a clap note. Frustrates me. But I just love everything Maddison does. He seems really, really keen. Took his goal well. He looks class, Tom. What's your thoughts on Maddison?
In general, I think he had a better game at Man U for picking up positions. I thought the game on Saturday, first 20, 25 minutes, he was a bit quiet. There was too much of the ball coming into his feet and he was literally laying it back to where it had come from. I think after that half an hour mark, the last 15 minutes into that half, he started to do what I wanted him to do, and that was turn and run at people. And I think we saw the better side of Maddison when he was getting the ball on the half turn, getting away from the centre midfielder and getting himself one-on-one with the centre halves, looking for the little slide balls, taking the shot and scored a goal from because he picked up that number 10 role again quite nicely. With the second half, he had to do a job when Vardy went off, and he went into the centre of the park or the right-hand side at one point, and he worked his socks off. And it's nice to see a player not moan about having to go and do that kind of role. He just did it for the team. Like I say, he's one for the future. Let's not get carried away yet. A couple of games, but I think Leicester fans and the Premier League, a lot of people are singing his praise and saying there's something about him that he could be a special player if he wants to be. We've seen it said a lot about some young talented player, in British football. Barkley comes to mind. This was the next big thing. He's never really taken off. So let's not, overhype him at the moment, but let's encourage him to do what he's been doing. And there's definitely some talent in there if he wants to progress.
I think, Tom, you speak so much sense. For me, I can't remember being as excited about a player coming to Leicester. I'm trying to think the last time, because even when like Mahrez came, I didn't see it straight away with him and Knockaert and some of these lads who came through. Even with Jamie Vardy, it took a while, but with Maddison, he just looks. I mean, people are putting there. I mean, Jason saying there, Maddison is the buy of the season. Other clubs missed a trick there. I think Maguire last season was probably the buy of the summer in a lot of ways, and I just think Maddison. The Norwich fans were saying it as soon as they knew we were buying him that they thought he was really good. But I just straight away love everything he does, and I really think he is quality.
No, exactly. And I was just saying, I think he's dead ball, specialist from dead balls. He got a great ball, could curl a ball in quite nicely. He knows how to whip it in. Beyond shot, I know it sounds hyping him up. You said you hadn't seen a player like it. For me, it goes back to Cambiasso when he came to the club. Someone with that footballing brain on him. He knows where the passes are. He's not scared of taking it on. And now, look, I'm not saying this is the next Cambiasso yet because we're miles off it, but there's just something about him that oozes class. And if he carries on the way he's going, he's got every opportunity to become a very, very good player. He's at such a young age, 21, to be, the pressure could have been on him at the weekend. 22 million coming into a Premier League club against a newly promoted club who he played against last year. He's got a point to prove that he wants to cut it at this level. His performance at Man U wasn't that, was up there with some of the other better players in that game. He went out the game towards the end, and I think that's why he got taken off of Vardy. But hey, it's 2 games in. Let's get behind him. And I say there's a lot to come from him, I think, if he carries on like
that. Tom, we haven't even talked. We're going to talk very quickly about Southampton on Saturday. They're not having the best of times. It's a good time to go. What do you think?
I didn't see the result for the weekend. I don't know how they got on at the weekend.
They lost, but while I put you on camera, full screen, I will quickly check on the side. Southampton lost, but
Yeah, I mean,
we normally do quite well down there, don't we?
We've not got a bad record at the new ground. We had a poor record at the old the Den back in the day. We didn't have a great record going there, but we haven't got a bad record going to the new Southampton's ground. Well, it's not an easy place to go, but I said at the beginning of the season, I felt that they were a team that could be down there again this season, fighting relegation. They haven't really signed anyone. They signed Danny Ings on the last day of the season. What we all know is he's not a bad little footballer for a striker, and I think they played him and Austin at the weekend, who always seems to pop up with a goal against Leicester. But look, it's not an easy place to go. Do I think he'll keep the same team? I think he will. I think he'll be very happy with the team that played at the weekend. I don't think he'll make changes. The new defender, the Turkish lad who's come in, he could be on the bench at the weekend. It'd be interesting.
Tom, just say his name, mate. Come on.
I'm not saying his name. I can't say his name.
I can't even spell it. I'm not even going to try and put it on the screen. There's far too many flexes and all whatever on it.
You know, I do most of them quite well, but when I get one card, I'm only going to try it because I'm looking forward on telly.
Me and Jamie are just calling him Sudoku. It's just easier.
Or as people are going from Shrek, Lord Farquhar.
Lord Farquhar. I've seen that meme going around. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I say there is a possibility he might come into a back three if Pure wants to try that formation at Southampton. I think we'll probably see the same team that started, bar that Nacho will come into the starting lineup. Maybe you might see Diabate come in for Albright. It all depends if he wants to change up that much. But for me, I think there's one change going into that game. That's just Nacho comes in. And do you know what? He's got 3 games to prove himself at the end of the day now, Nacho. He probably felt a bit hard done by after his performance at Man U, where I thought he played all right. And he had a very good pre-season. So, it's a chance for him now to prove himself again.
Jason's telling us it's Soyuncu. There we go, Soyuncu. That's how I'm going to say it. Southampton drew against Burnley in the first game, Tom, and then they lost to Everton at the weekend 2-1. So Leicester, they might not fancy it. Obviously, there's the Pure connection there. Got a few predictions coming on. Ellis, I can't put that on screen, but he says, do you know what sod it? He says, stick Simpson up front on Saturday. I think, like you say, it'll be Nacho, won't it? 3-1 win. Sam is saying, Liam is saying 14-6. You're watching the wrong sport. I think you're talking rugby scores there. 2-1 Inacio, says Reese Taylor. Reese has gone for Okazaki and Austin. I'm not sure Okazaki is going to be fit to play. Jason is saying Everton won't be pushovers this season. Joanna is telling us it's Soy Un-Chew. Can you say it, Tom?
Soy Un-Chew.
Soy Un-Chew. Sounds more like a Japanese name, doesn't it? Anyway, Liam is saying, in all seriousness, I think we'll draw 1-1 on Saturday. Thanks for joining us, Tom.
No problem at all.
We'll see you later in the week.
Yeah, definitely. We'll speak in the week at some point.
Thanks, Tom. I'll let you go now.
Cheers, mate.
Thanks for everybody who's putting the comments in. I'm going to try and read through a few of them at the end here. Alan is saying it's got 0-0 written all over it. Foxes win with Maddison to score again, says Jason. Luke is saying, not trying to sound overly confident, but on form, we should be going there to win. Southampton are on a poor run, and we've got a win under our belts. I agree with you. I agree, Luke. Peter Waller is saying Nacho will be up for it after pre-season matches to prove himself, which is what Tom was saying. Imtiaz is full of beefy confidence, saying it's got a boring 0-0 written all over it. Aaron Edwards is saying, come on, Northampton Saints. Ellis is saying, you're saying it's not rugby, but West Brom beat QPR 8-1. Yes, and Harvey Barnes, by the way, was nominated for the Championship Team of the Weekend. So doing really, really well there for QPR again. Saints at home won't get beat. Look at Mark and how well he did with Stoke at home. That's fair enough. Ellis is saying, I smell a 4-1 win again. Although Jackson Hill is saying not many goals will be scored, now I think Vards is out. So, I guess it's been a good start to the season. We've enjoyed that. It's the most important thing is to get 3 points on the board. As ever, I'd like to say thanks to the guys from Peter's Pizzas, Everard's, ADT, Hologram, all these guys. We're looking for more and more sponsors so we can do more and more live video for you guys. But most important, people, as ever, which I think sometimes people forget, is you lot out there, the fans, because that's what we do this because we're fans. That's all. We want the fans' view. We want to give everybody a chance to actually say what the hell it is they think. Good, bad. If you think it was a red card, say it. If you think it was a yellow card, say it. If you think Pereira was magic, or Mendy was magic, or Maddison's the guy, you can say it. If you think Johnny Evans was rubbish, then you can say it. You're all allowed your opinions, and that's what we do here on 100%. Fantastic show yesterday by Jamie. We got Dipak and Don on Thursday at 10 in the late night Foxes. Of course, Lee Chappie on Wednesday at 8 p.m. for his Fox in the Box show. I'm hoping Tom's going to do one on Friday, and that'll be good. And then we've got live stuff, obviously, before, during, and after the match on Saturday from Southampton. Always looking for more fans. If you're going to the match away on Saturday at Southampton and you wanted to be our away fan reporter of the day, we can plug you in so that you can go live from outside the ground from your phone. We want more and more fans to do that because I'm sure you're sick of seeing people like me on there. So that's if you want to come on, if you want to be our away fan for the Southampton match, do get in contact with us. Just inbox us. That would be absolutely brilliantly, and we'll get you on there. Imtiaz is saying that the under-23s out there, and he's even bringing up do you think a Puel out, Phil? No talk of Puel out. Not tonight, thank you. It was a good win. Keep it 100% LCFC. We'll see you before the weekend on all the shows. Thanks for watching. From me, Phil, 100% LCFC. I'll see you soon. Thanks everybody who's still watching on Twitter and Facebook and Periscope. Really appreciate you guys tuning in as well.